G'day gamers, Ranger Tony here with another episode of 7 Days to Die. Almost said Pathfinder Kingmaker there. Another episode of 7 Days to Die, Down Under. When last we left off, I spent the night in this little A-frame house just down the road from where I want to build my final thing. I cleared this place out. Sounds like we've got a couple of visitors that have come in during the night. I destroyed this stairs here so that no one could come up. It doesn't look like anyone really tried. And there was previously a door here which I have blocked off. My way of getting out of here is I'm going to reopen this up and head out this way. There's a tree just outside here though, but that's fine because I need some wood anyway, because we have a lot of building to do when we get over to the other side of the river. Sounds like there are zombies fairly close. Oh, there is one of these guys. Now, I actually hate these guys because they are so hard to kill and they screw you up so badly, but they give you feathers, and a lot of them. So I'm not going to complain about that. My health's not doing too great. I don't need that. I don't need that. We're going to strip that. I said to drop that. And let's make some more ammo. Found a few things in the house. Nothing hugely interesting. Got some vitamins. Had some painkillers which I used to heal a little bit. This retracting stock mod, which I'm not really going to use, so I probably should just drop it. These electrical parts might come in handy later. I cooked up a lot of that meat that I got. You didn't really see it at the end of the last episode, but there was a wolf that I killed just out the front here. So I managed to cook up all of the meat I got from that, which was handy. Scrap that chair. Yeah, so we're actually doing quite well, I have to say. So I think what we're going to do is just calmly slide down here. Okay, we got some guy doing something over there. How am I doing for rock? Yeah, can always come back later and do that. I want to get over and start clearing out my area to build. So, ooh. Bird's nest cannot turn up the feathers. Yeah, leave those zombies to destroy all of that. Hello, Mr. Zombie. There, one there, leave all that garbage there for now. Lots of trees around here. It's a great area for resources. Not a huge amount of coal, but most of the other resources that you are going to need, particularly stone and wood, are very prevalent. And there are a few buildings around that you can easily destroy to scavenge more things if you can't find what else you need. That lead trophy I'm not going to need. I'm not actually sure if the paper money is useful for anything. It's just paper. Drop it. I think the only thing that paper's really useful for is making shotgun shells. It's wadding, and I don't really want to do that, so let's clear out. Oh, that, I didn't expect her to get that close. There we go. let's start taking down trees, because this is the general area where we're going to build. So get some of these for that little bit of extra wood. Okay. Got a zombie over there on the left. Where? Up there next to the tree. Right there. I don't hear any others all that close. That guy's fairly tough to kill. I think he gives you more than the normal 400 experience. I think he's like a 750 or something. Over that way down along the river, south along the river, is another little homesteady thing, a camp, something, Good Hope Camp or some weird thing, and it has some really good loot in it. Was that behind me? No, but I did see that junk there. I might just get rid of that. There we go. Yeah, come on, mate. We'll get rid of you. You're just going to be a nuisance until we get rid of you, aren't you? At least with the spear, you can get them before they get too close. But I was talking in the last episode, and I don't think I really finished what I was saying about weapons. I think it's a little strange in the zombie genre. You know, guns are the only weapons that are really used. Oh, yeah, sure, you've got people using bloody chainsaws and all other manners of weird sorts of things, but I don't know, in my opinion, like, canonically the way to kill a zombie is to destroy its brain, or at least sever its head from its body. Get rid of its head, basically. And in the movies, it's very dramatic to show it being blown off with a, you know, shotgun or bullet of some sort. Shotgun shell or bullet of some sort. And so, you know, that's the way that you're supposed to kill a zombie. But if that's the way that you're supposed to kill a zombie, is remove its head or destroy its brain, that classic line from Shaun of the Dead, then surely the better way to do it is to either use a sword and slice its head off, or use something like, and yeah, sure, baseball bat or club, but really an actual warhammer or mace, a big, heavy chunk of metal on the end of a stick that you ram through their head and destroy the brain. So if I was to go into a zombie apocalypse, I would use a sword or a mace or warhammer sort of thing. But what I'd also use, and I don't know that I've ever seen this used, as I said, I'm over the whole zombie apocalypse genre. I think it's been done to death. I think it's time to lay it to rest and come up with something new and interesting. But in the glimpses that I've seen of the various stories, movies, you know, computer games, etc., what I don't see is people using shields. And it seems to me that that's what weapons do zombies have? Their bite, and their hands become like claws, you know, like they try and grab and rip at you and everything. That's perfect for, you know, a shield is perfect for blocking that and protecting yourself. So I really do not understand how nobody is using that. Like, surely a shield is really good at protecting you. You can have that shield there protecting you from the zombie bashing away, because that's the other thing is that they're single-minded. They get to you and they just bash and smash and everything until they kill you, sort of thing. So surely a shield is, you know, really useful. And yeah, sure, in this game it would work great in this game. the thing that you'd have to watch out for then is that you don't get surrounded, because the shield is really only going to protect like a certain part of you. If they come around from the flanks where you can't get the shield in front of them to block them, then you're going to be in trouble. How many have I got? Yeah, that's good. Still got plenty of wood left after that. So yeah, that's just my thought on the whole zombie genre. Yeah, really, the weapons that I would take into a zombie apocalypse would be a sword and shield, or a mace or some sort. The reason I wouldn't take something like an axe, and like the two-handed weapons are fine, but I used to be a member of a medieval reenactment group, right? And we set our time period in the 14th century, so like from about 1320 to 1350 was the time period that we sort of worked in. And it was the time when everything started to transition from primarily chainmail armor, right? Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it went from primarily chainmail armor to 1, 2, 3, 4, to the start of more complex armors, what we would call plate mail, but it wasn't really like, it wasn't the Gothic plate that you had in like the 15th and 16th century. It was, what it really was chainmail with some plates over it, which is why plate mail is actually a fairly apt description, because it was, you know, plate with mail. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need that one there. Beautiful. So that's going to be the bounding box of my building. I'm actually not going to, I'm going to take out the 4 in the middle, like you saw with my other one. 8 high. So the floor of the first floor will be at level 8, and then there'll be another 4 above that. So it'll be like 12 blocks high. So initially, this is where it's going to get interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do to build this. Where was I going with the story? Yeah, medieval reenactment group. So in this medieval reenactment group, we were sticking as much as we could to very traditional things. So there was no dual wielding. That didn't exist, right? Nobody dual wielded. 1, 2, 3. I better start. Oops. Repair that. Historically, dual wielding wasn't a thing, you know. And historically, knights used swords and shields. But that started to change over time, apparently. I'm starting to lose count. I think I've added 2 more on, so that's... let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was 4. Good. Yeah, historically, knights... knights used sword and shield. And the reason for that was because the sword was really good at slicing through people. Not necessarily armor. Armor was actually very effective at stopping swords, from what we understand. I need another 4. Oops, wrong button. And so, if you were a knight and you were actually going to fight another knight, and it wasn't just a tournament, this was blood, you were going to kill them, you would actually tend to use things like axes or maces, because they were much more effective. An axe worked a lot better That looks about right. It's good enough. An axe works a lot better against... Actually, I'm going to pick those up. I'm not going to even use them. Axes, strangely enough, work a lot better against armor because the blade of an axe, at least, the axes, the real axes that were used in battle, not the fantasy ones you see with the big crescent blades. The real axes that they used to use, the blades were only about that tall. So they were long and thin like that. Not that different from the axe that you see on the screen here, except made out of metal. So it wasn't a massive, big cutting edge. It was fairly small, and that actually applied all of the force over a very small area. And that was good because that would then allow it to smash its way through the metal plates to get to the person inside that. And it would also break links. And similarly, things like maces just bludgeoned the person to death inside it. And in fact, if you used a sword against someone and the sword wasn't working very well as, it wasn't cutting, you would end up, mostly the damage that you would be doing to them would be bludgeoning because they'd be getting beaten up inside their armor. More skill points. I didn't actually apply any of my skill points yet because I was going to wait until everyone could see what I was doing. Okay, skill points. Because I am who I am, the very first skill point goes into archery. Then I come back here and I put something into animal tracking because I want to be able to find animals to kill. At this point, I also like hidden strike because that gives me sneak attack damage basically when attacking from hidden. We're going to want advanced engineering soon, but how many points? I've only got 2 points left. The other thing that I want is Master Chef, but also I love to be able to carry a bit more, so Pack Mule. So that's going to be my points initially. So now we've got a few extra points down here for carrying, which is wonderful. And I don't know how many I've done, but that's all right because I can just go up there until I'm level with that. So yeah, and this is research that's only been done in the last 20 or so years, but they seem to think that mostly knights used swords against peasants. Not so much against themselves, at least not later on. I think I've got to go one more higher here still. Let me go one more. And can I... Nope. Damn it. Yes, that is the right level. It is there we go. It is possible to do this if you're really, really careful. Right, so that's enough of those two posts joined together now that I can basically fill most of this area here in. Okay, I've been rambling on enough about medieval weapons and everything. I'm going to come back when I've got a bit more of this built. The big thing that I probably need to start doing next, I've got to build up that, because that's going to be that level there is going to be the front. So I'm going to build up that pylon there to the same level and build out the the flooring there, and then I'm probably going to start thinking about the stairs coming up. So in my first video, I started with a single railing stairway that wrapped around the building and ended up at the level at the front after 4 levels, because I built this twice as high last time. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to use the same method that I had on my very first build, which was just a single set of stairs that come from that way straight towards me, but I'm going to have a landing in the middle with probably 2 landings, one halfway up and the other one at the very top, which have my little patented drawbridge things using hatches. So I'm going to come back when I've got a bit more of that roughed out, and we'll see where I'm up to. So be back in a sec. Okay, yeah, I sort of lost track, and I'm back. It's now nighttime on end of day 2. So what have I done? I've built... I've got to be careful because there is a zombie around here somewhere. So I've got my stairs coming up here and across, and then we've got a gap here. Now this is going to be eventually 3 wide like it is up the top. Okay, I'm going to make that a proper full pillar, and I'm going to finish that. Actually, that I can do that right now. I don't know why I picked those up, quite frankly. So that's going to be a full pillar there as well, and eventually I'll concrete those or get them as heavy as I can. Then we have this pillar here, which is the top of the stairs, so let's go on up. So this is eventually going to be a 3 wide stairway and a 3 wide walkway with a 3 wide drawbridge section there. 3 wide stairs here up to our final 3 wide drawbridge here. Now on these flat parts, anywhere there's flat parts along here, I'm going to have little railings on the edge, but I can't put railings here and here because there's nothing for them to hook onto. They won't hook onto the side of those hatches. And this then is going to be our base. Now I'm going to, like I did with the other one, I'm going to take out a 3x3, each of the 3x3 sections here and here, there and there in each of the 4 corners, so that there's just walkways in the middle, and they're going to be bars all laid horizontally that we can walk on. And in fact, because I've got this section here at the front, my front door is going to be right here, and that's going to be a normal block there, but these 2 blocks here going up are all going to be just bars. So I can basically stand here, and if any of them get up to this level, I can just shoot at them, or I can shoot down to any down there that aren't underneath yet. And the same here. And I might actually do that all the way around. So what the base will be corner pillars going up 3 high and then the roof. And then archways over the doors, because there's going to be a door in the end of each. Maybe not, actually. Maybe it won't be worthwhile putting a door in the end of each wall. Instead, front one here will have an arch over the door. And then these ones, the walls will just be all bars, so that I can see out at all times, but nothing can get in. And I might even bar the roof. You never know. It depends on how I'm feeling at the time. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of day 2 of this build. I will bring you back at the start of day 3 after I've survived the night and give you an update as to whether we had any attacks. I'm running low on supplies at the moment. I need some more wood in particular. I'm going to place a chest down around here somewhere so that I can start offloading some of my stuff. But in the morning, I will be harvesting more wood and basically finishing off this as much of this build as I can. And then starting to go and raid some of the buildings along the shore down that way to get some crushed rocks and stuff that I can start to reinforce all of these pillars, because they're going to be the big bugbear in this design, although if you saw my first video, you will see that I tried with a similar design that was way taller, double this height basically. I took out the two front pillars. Imagine that none of those stairs were there. The stairs actually wrapped all the way around. I took out the front 2 pillars and the building was still standing. Just the back 2 pillars and that central pillar had enough structural integrity with the flooring to keep all of the flooring and the roof and the walls and everything all together. So in a blood moon, they can't get up here. They're liable to try and destroy a lot of this structure that's down here, which won't be a problem. I can just recreate it when I leave in the morning. But if they then decide to come in and attack the pillars, they can take out 2 complete pillars before the building will start to collapse. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this midnight. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give me a like and share it with your friends. Be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest videos, and I will see you for the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.